Hello everyone. As shown in the thumbnail, early this morning GIFT Nifty crashed. It's a reaction to US President Trump's tariff announcement, and this graph sums it up all very good. Last night the major US market index S&P 500 and Nasdaq closed positive for the third straight session. In line with that, our GIFT Nifty increased all the way to 23,550. But today morning, Trump gave the press conference before signing the executive order for the tariff, like what he's going to do roughly 50 minutes, and the GIFT Nifty fall showing in the graph is the reaction during those 50 minutes. I will attach the US President Trump press conference and the executive order signing video link in the pinned comment. If anyone fancies seeing those, please have a go. And as usual, I will list out all the things he highlighted and all the things we need to know. So let's get started. Trump started the press conference stating that tariffs would start with a 10% baseline across the board. Meaning, irrespective of the goods, all the imported goods that come into US from all other countries will be subjected to 10%. So he signed the executive order that this baseline 10% tariff will be effective from April 5th from coming Saturday. This was better than what market was expecting. So initially US futures, our GIFT Nifty and other future market across the world started to rally. But once he got into specifics, like on top of this 10%, the market across the globe started to fall like deck of cards. The first one, which was widely expected, auto tariff. All the cars and all the automotive components, irrespective of the countries, which imports into the United States will be subjected to 25% tariff. And that will be effective from April 3rd US time midnight, which will be roughly Indian time today afternoon. So 10% blanket tariff on all the imports effective from coming Saturday. 25% tariff on all the automobile related will be effective from today onwards. Then comes the main part, reciprocal tariff. If required, please pause and have a look. This is the chart US President shown in the press conference, and also they released it like which countries got how much tariff. In the first column, it's not the exact tariff what other government charging on US goods, but the US Trade Department estimated the rough tariff by adjusting what they think like currency manipulation as well as the trade barriers countries got from US Trade Department perspective. Here, I don't want to go one by one, rather I will highlight some. For example, from US Trade Department perspective, India is charging 52% tariff on US goods. So half of that, all the goods from India to US will be subjected to 26% as tariff. Similarly, Chinese goods will be subjected to 34%, European Union goods into US will attract 20%, Vietnam will be massive 46%, Taiwan 32% and Japan 24%, our neighbors Bangladesh 37%, Pakistan 29% and Sri Lanka 44%. The least ones were UK, Singapore, Brazil, Chile, Australia and Colombia. Those countries will attract only base 10%. And finally, US neighbors Mexico and Canada constant 25% for the goods that are not compliant with the US Mexico-Canada trade agreement. So this reciprocal tariffs on that respective countries will be effective from 9th April onwards, from next Wednesday. In simple, 3 tariffs, 25% auto and auto related components effective from today, 10% tariff on all the imported goods effective from coming Saturday, and reciprocal tariff on each respective countries will be effective next Wednesday. Literally, it's very much worse than what all the analysts expected, hence immediately all the stock market across crashed. As I said earlier, last night actually US market closed positive, but after this announcement, it had a very worst market crash. At present, US future market Dow Jones was down over 1000 points, S&P 500 was down over 200 points and Nasdaq was the major hit, crashed near 4.5% or otherwise was down above 850 points. 4.5% down on Nifty will be equivalent for 1000 points crash, whereas on Bank Nifty it's 2500 points crash. Even US individual stocks were not spared. In the aftermarket hours, all US major tech stocks crashed more than the index. Apple was the one majorly got affected, down over 7%, since all the iPhone, iPad and laptop all imported from Vietnam, China and India, and all those 3 countries got the worst tariff. Facebook down near 5% and Google was down near 4%. Hence, no wonder GIFT Nifty crashed 400 points from its peak. I mean, I would be happy if it didn't fall from the present level. Anyway, for now it's indicating gap down opening of over 300 points. Then on the commodity side, crude oil dropped 1.5%. At the time of this video, WTI crude again dropped below $70 per barrel and Brent crude trading around $73.5 per barrel. Gold wise, now trading 0.5% less, but last night it rallied to near $3,190 per ounce, but now profit booking kind of pushed it down, but still above than yesterday trade value $3,150 per ounce. So what's next? I mean, today all those affected countries are going to announce their own measure like either retaliation or surrender. For example, China, South Korea and Japan said that they are going to respond jointly for this tariff. So we need to wait and see for their response. It can be released anytime during today's trading time. Just for info, in those joint response, China requested India to join with them. Don't know what our ministers are going to do. European Union wise, they are planning to attack the US digital service export, which is where US having huge trade surplus over European Union. So now officially Trump started the trade war across the globe. Hence, there is no point in looking at Indian ADR since all closed before the reciprocal tariff announcement. Hence, it will not be a representative. I mean, our IT companies will not be subjected to this tariff, but still this tariff will now increase the US inflation crazy and so high risk of US economy slowdown. So it's obvious this will be going to affect our IT stocks. Then the next sector today that might go under the bus will be pharma, since their major part of the revenue completely dependent on US and it's now going to attract 26% tariff. So we can expect it to affect the profit margin. I mean, since Trump sworn in as president, already there is a serious chaos among the global investment. Hence, no company is making any new investment. All are already kind of waiting for some stability. Now, this aggregated those chaos to multiple times. As a summary, today it's all about Trump tariff reaction, nothing else. Then, leaving the Trump tariff aside, about the things to look out, first around 10:30 am, Indian service payment data is due. Then around 1 to 2 pm, France, Germany, Europe and UK's service and composite payment data shall release. Finally, in the aftermarket hours, US EA short-term oil outlook, usual weekly jobs data and US ISM service payment data are some of the items we need to keep an eye out today. Coming to technical, again same as ADR, I don't think market is going to react as per technical, but still like to highlight some very quickly. Nifty opened 30 points gap up at near 23,190 and was positive throughout the session, finally closed about 23,300. Thus on the daily chart, Nifty formed a bullish candlestick pattern resembling an inside bar or a bullish hammer-like pattern, though not a classical one, indicating the potential trend reversal. However, today confirmation is needed, again which I don't think will happen. In addition, Nifty has been holding above the falling trendline breakout point with RSI momentum indicator trending upward at 56 and MACD well above the zero line maintaining the positive bias. So barring Trump influence, it appears good. Hence, we can expect some level of support around 23,100 which coincides with 50-day exponential moving average, but the way Nasdaq futures falling, it's very scary. Then in case of Bank Nifty, it opened more than 100 points gap up and outperformed Nifty, then closed at above 15,340. Thus on the daily chart, Bank Nifty also formed a bullish candlestick pattern. In addition, it sustained above all key moving averages with RSI momentum indicator climbing above 60 zone to 63.83 and MACD in positive territory holding above the zero line. Hence, same as Nifty, barring Trump influence, it looks good. 50,600 mark, expecting it as a first line of support. As per the weekly options data, the maximum call option openers was at 23,500 strike, followed by 23,300 and 24,000, with maximum new call option writing at 23,300 strike and then 23,350 to 23,500. On the put side, the maximum openers was at 23,000 strike, followed by 23,200 and 22,500, with maximum new put option writing at 23,200 strike and then 23,300 and 23,000. Thus, from options data, Nifty might face resistance at 23,500, while 23,200 to 23,000 zone is likely to act as the support. So that's all in this video. Hope you all got some information. Please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video so that it will help me beat the YouTube algorithm and also motivate me to do more. Please don't make any investment decision based on this, as I'm not a SEBI research advisor. I'm doing this for me and viewers educational purpose only. Thanks for watching.